Hi, I'm Juliette, and this is our story so far. It starts with no cash and no equity, and it ends with 3 houses, 3 kids, and $300,000 profit. It's been a very busy 3 years. When we first met Dimna, we were stuck in a hamster wheel, working crazy long hours far from home. I was having my first baby, and I just wanted to be home with her. We made a deal. If I could find $100,000 a year to replace my income, I could stay at home. The trouble was, we were literally starting from zero. We had no time. Husband was studying, we were working, we had a new baby. We had no equity. We just bought this townhouse in a real bubble of a market, and we had no cash. We even put Dimna's training course on our credit card. Then we came to Dimna's boot camp. We met an amazing community of people who said yes. I was huddled up the back, bleary-eyed and sleep-deprived, with my baby on my lap, madly scribbling to write notes. We pushed back on all the excuses. Yes, we could do it. We just needed the right strategy and a practical action plan. Not only did Dimna inspire us and teach us, she did it while holding our baby. Our action plan had 3 big steps. We needed to get started, get strategic, and then get sustainable. Our first mission was getting started. It was a bit of a magic trick, making money from nothing. We bought this Sydney townhouse in a first home buyer's bubble. So we used all our cash and we had no equity. Getting started meant making some equity with the renovation. We lived on baked beans and showered in the backyard while we got our bathrooms done. When we ran out of money, we became the chair and the treasurer of the strata so that we could use the strata funds to work with external painting and do the landscaping. Then we asked the bank to revalue it. And then we lobbied, and then we begged, and finally they agreed to let us revalue it with $100,000 of great value, so we could redraw that as equity and use it for cash for our first deal. Then just as our plan was gaining momentum, we found out about baby number 2. We needed to get into a deal where we could still get finance, and it felt like a race against my growing belly. So we went back to our action plan. It was time to get strategic. Dimna had so many great strategies, but there were 3 that struck us most. To buy well in a hot spot, to split the block and build, and to renovate and make it positive cash flow. We had $100,000, and we wanted to make all 3 strategies work for us in one great big deal. It took some hunting, but we finally found our deal. It's our ugly duckling house with a great big beautiful block of land. Yes, it's a hot spot. It's 4 kilometres from Newcastle CBD, and it's close to TAFE, to uni, and there's great parks, a school nearby, and Coles and 26 specialty shops going in down the road. Yes, it's a split and build block. We can fit 2 duplexes in the backyard instead of just one house. And yes, it could be renovated to make positive cash flow. There were 3 bedrooms when we bought it, and an old veranda, and a spare sunroom. So we're using all 5 and leasing them to students, which just covers our loans so we could start the build. Dimna said mums make great property developers because we're always multitasking. Well, I hope she's right. Would you believe we made our offer on the house while we were lighting the birthday candles on my daughter's first birthday cake? It didn't end there. I made calls to engineers and surveyors and arborists all while I was changing nappies and making Play-Doh and rocking a cot. Here you can see our plan. At the front of the block is the old house, which was 3 and now 5 bedrooms leased out. And at the back you can see 2 beautiful 3-bedroom townhouses. It was a tight fit and it was a fight to get council to agree, but we finally got their call with verbal approval when I was in labour with baby number 2. That really is multitasking. Maybe you're thinking that all sounds too easy. Well, we hit plenty of challenges along the way. We had to fight the bank to get equity drawn out of this townhouse. We were gazumped twice before we bought our deal. Council reneged their verbal approval of our DA, and we spent $12,000 appealing their decision. And we managed this project while juggling 2 kids under 2 years old. When we hit a no along the way, I would imagine Dimna asking me, "What then? What did you do next?" We didn't have all the answers, we still don't, but we just kept pushing until something worked. It felt like we were finally getting on top of things, and then we discovered surprise baby number 3. My days are full with 3 kids under 3, but it's fun to have grown-up projects too. I'm pretty sure my builders have never seen a newborn on the building site, and I love watching my 3 kids growing every day, and our duplex is growing even faster. The most important question is, did it replace my $100,000 a year? Our costs were purchase of the land, add stamp duty, legals and all the rest. We had to pay interest to hold the house for 2 years while we got the DA and built, and the development application for our duplex, and that painful $12,000 we had to spend on the appeal process. Then the cost to build 2 3-bedroom townhouses. It's a turnkey price with landscaping, fencing, strata titling, even fixing up the old house with paint, courtyard and a simple reno. So our costs all up were $1,058,000. Our returns were rental income of $53,000, the old house has been revalued at $410,000, and the 2 new builds are worth $450,000 each. That makes our total returns $1,363,000. So with our new value of $1.36 million and with costs of just over $1 million, we have $305,000 profit. Yep, $305,000. We tripled the $100,000 we drew out of this townhouse as cash, and we replaced my income to cover 3 rounds of maternity leave. I told you it'd been a big 3 years. 3 babies, 3 houses, and $300,000 profit. So what happens next in our story? Well, I still want to stay home with these guys. So the next mission is to make it sustainable. Being home with 3 kids is not the time to take on big bank loans, so we're partnering up with joint ventures. Last week we bought this 2-part house and office right near Newcastle CBD in Carrington. Our concept plan is to build 3 stories, with a retail shop on the ground floor and 6 studio apartments on the first and second floors. It's not just about staying home with my kids anymore. I've discovered a real passion for real estate, and I can't imagine ever wanting to go back to my office job. I'm so thankful we met Dimna. I'm so glad we pushed through the no's to no time, no equity, no cash. I'm so thankful that we met a community of people that say yes, that push through challenges and make it work, and taught us to do the same. Dimna's strategies turned the impossible goal into a practical action plan to get started, to get strategic, and to get sustainable. The best part is, I could do it all from home, up to my elbows in nappies and Play-Doh. So here we are. There are 5 of us now, and there are big plans ahead, and our story is far from over.